Are you gearing up for? I assume the biggest negotiation for you is going to be that moment when Francis Ngannou's contract comes to an end. I assume that's the one where you got to come in, guns blazing, armor everywhere. Like you got to have every Dana White weakness. Talk about this, talk about that. Like I assume that's going to be like the negotiation of negotiations for you.
Yeah, I would say from a career standpoint, right? It's like I'd be lying if I would say that this is probably the biggest contract that I'll have to negotiate, right? Because he's such a high profile athlete, right? It's like, who is negotiating, on behalf of Muhammad Ali. That was probably stressful, or Mike Tyson. That was probably stressful, or I mean, Rich Paul. I'm sure like his first deal with LeBron was probably super stressful. So that's just a part of the business that like I welcome, and I like that challenge, and I'm up for that challenge. And when I can, I wish we were in person so I can look you in the eye and just tell you that like there's not a single manager in MMA on this planet that has spent more time and effort thinking about one fucking contract in the history of the sport. Like I'll just tell you flat out. But again, there's so much stacked against me and so much stacked against Francis, right? It's like, hey, if you're a betting person, the odds are in UFC's favor, right? Because it's built that way, it's designed that way. Like again, I'm gonna be honest with you, but little old me, right? Like there's a lot of other great managers in the space and big managers and high profile managers, and I don't care to compete against them. I don't care to aspire to be them. Like I just want to be me. Like I said earlier, like I just want to do the best job that I can. And I'll tell you one thing, that not short of, unless they try to, do something to interfere, tortious interference, um, we'll be okay. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the only thing. It's like there's probably people like, could be fans, could be other managers, could be the UFC themselves, right? Like from that standpoint, like I can't control what happens on that, right? I just know that there's a legal matter at play. Nothing. That's the only thing I would be concerned about. If there's real tortious interference. But again, there's no regulatory body that can, like, what I mean, stop this. And like, but Francis, and I have a great relationship. He's like a brother to me. Um, I'll do anything for my clients just because that's the kind of like individual that I try to be. I'm not perfect. I make a lot of fucking mistakes. You know what I mean? Me and Francis even talk about them. Like sometimes, like I'm like, damn, I was too emotional on that, or oh, let's just relax and take a beat. But this contract, when his contract is up, I want him to be with UFC, right? Like people make this huge misconception it's all about free agency. It's all about taking your fighter elsewhere to make more money. No, like you can make good money with the UFC and get a ton of fucking exposure, right? Again, like there's no combat promotion that promotes better than UFC. However, I'll say the caveats to that is like you got to think about if they decide to shine that light on you or not. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, there's countless of other fighters, right? Let's forget about Francis for a second, right? When Sean O'Malley won in the Contender Series, what happened? Right? He got
Yeah.
he got the Snoop Dogg thing, which is cool. That went viral, but that could have easily phased out.
Yeah.
It was the machine of UFC, right? And you couple that with who Sean O'Malley is, and he leveraged it, was wise enough to leverage that and just roll with it, right? That he's so big now, right? Like, I mean, Hamzat Chimaev in MMA world, he's massive. In the sports world, no one knows him. No one knows him. But who made him massive? UFC and the machine, right? But you'll have to ask yourself, media or fan or whatever, are they promoting Francis that way? Or are they doing, could they be doing better? Should they be doing less? Are they overhyping Francis? Right? There was a day that I remember, Francis hits like a Mac,
Yeah.
a
Ford Escort.
Ford Escort. Yeah. Francis this, right? Now, Francis hasn't been like inactive, right? Francis has been winning last time I checked. So what's the difference? Right? So it's just a function of terms. If the terms are good, again, I work. Let me also break this down for people. This is fucking. I hope you blast this out too to people to read or fucking see. Hope they don't
Gotcha.
shadow ban this. But it's like the agent, the manager, the representation. I work for my client. We work for the client, not the other way around. It's not how this business works. Again, Rich Paul works for LeBron. Period. You know what I mean? So if LeBron, right, if a Francis says no, then guess what the final answer is? No.
Fair
You know
enough.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I can say, hey, but I did all this data, I did all this research, we did this, we did this, we did this. This is what it looks like. At the end of the day, the client makes the decision. You know what I mean? And it's my job, it's our job as representation to put them in the best position to make the best decision for their career. You know what I mean? And that's where I feel like as of today, I'm knocking on wood, Francis is in a position to do so, right? But of course, at the end of the day, he has to win. He has to win, and he has to be wanted and needed. But at the end of the day, I think Francis has such an amazing future ahead of him, and I'm just honored to kind of be a part of the ride, to be honest.